Good morning, Elizabeth Stitt with Joyful Parenting Coaching. Today, it is my great pleasure to host my friend Deborah Ann Davis. Deborah is an award-winning author, speaker, and coach with over 3 decades of experience in middle and high school education. As a teacher, Deborah has helped countless families replace the pain typical of the tween-teen years by fostering positive and healthy relationships despite all that adolescent angst. She is the founder of the Awesome Mom Tribe, and she's a mother herself. Deborah now applies her experience in education to coaching parenting skills. Armed with a fabulous sense of humor, a BS in education from the University of Massachusetts, and a master's in education in supervision from Emory University, she provides guidance and encouragement for moms to help them foster positive and healthy relationships within their families. One of her books includes How to Get Your Happy On, and that is what today's topic is about. But for you moms of daughters, I want to give her a special mention because I highly recommend her new book. Well, it's not brand new anymore, but her really fabulous book, How to Keep Your Daughter from Slamming the Doors. It's part story, part manual, 100% wit and wisdom. It's laid out super easily so that you can get just chunks of pieces. There's sidebars, there are concrete exercises. It really is like having a best friend when it comes to mothering a daughter with all her drama. Deborah Ann Davis, thank you so much for being here today, and I can't wait to get my happy on.
I am so glad to be here, obviously. So I'm going to start with my sharing of my screen, and we've got a limited amount of time here, and hang on. Oh, there it is. And what I want to do is make sure that I squeeze in all the important stuff right in the beginning. So hang on one second. I'm still playing with my screen.
Well, while you're playing with your screen, I'll say here are the books, How to Get Your Happy On and How to Keep Your Daughter from Slamming the Door in Your Face. And I recommend both. Both will have you laughing. Both will have concrete skills that you can use.
Okay, there we go. I am so ready. All right. First of all, I want to say that at the bottom most of the screens, you'll see my email address and my website. You are definitely invited to come to my website, and my email address you should use because if you sign up for my Mary Meddling monthly newsletter, you can have your choice of a free copy of one of these books. So you can get, these are both my Awesome Mom handbooks. You can get a copy of How to Get Your Happy On or How to Keep Your Daughter from Slamming the Door. So there's my shameless plug.
Fabulous.
We're going to talk about happiness right now. And there are three basic approaches to increasing your happiness. And I like to break it into what's obvious. So this is where we're starting. Replicating what already works. There are things in your life that make you happy. And if you know what they are, if you identify them, then do them again. And if you do that, you'll be modeling that behavior for your kids. The second obvious approach is to protect your happiness. So you do something that makes you feel happy. Well, you got to protect that. And there's so much negativity in our world. First of all, commercials and the media are designed to make you discontented. That's their job, because if you're discontented, you will go buy stuff to make yourself feel better. Contented people don't shop. So their job is to make you compare yourself from where you're at right now to those images on the screen so that you will try to emulate them and get what you need to be more like them. So you have to protect yourself from that kind of negativity and exposure. And it could be a negative entity at work, or a negative neighbor, and limit your exposure to those people as much as you can, or acknowledge the fact when you're going to be around them that they could possibly dent your happiness, and take steps to be emotionally um, stirred and what do you call it? Like to like stabilize your inner core so that whatever they're throwing at you won't hit you. And when you do that, you can you're taking power, you're taking control of your situation, because you can't control them or how they feel. You can only control how you're going to respond to it. So you've got stuff that's making you happy, do it again. And if there's stuff that dents your happiness, find a way to step away from it. And then the third one is the one that we're going to focus on today, and that's creating your happiness. And I'm not talking about go out and make yourself happy in an inspirational, ethereal kind of way. I'm talking about blood and gut science about how to generate your happy hormones on your own when you're not feeling it. Because if you're in a bad situation and you can create happy hormones at that time, you'll be able to handle that situation better. So here we go. Oh, and I had to put this in here because I was dictating what I wanted to say here for the slides and such. And I was doing, this is what I wanted it to say, right? Those happy hormones, blah, 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 blah. This is what my computer, it doesn't matter how I moved my mouth or what I did.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that is too funny.
I could not get it to say happy hormones.
Hormones. Hormones. That is right. Hormones.
That's the last one. 4
Yeah.
months. I mean, I could not get my mouth to say it in a way it understood it.
That is too funny.
So I just had to throw this one in here. I pulled this off of Facebook once.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah. Since I got you all laughing, I'm going to talk to you about the benefits of laughter because I know you want to know them. Again, I'm a science geek. I taught science for 3 decades, so all of my stuff is science-based. When you laugh, you inhale deeply, and that creates faster circulation in your body, which lowers your blood pressure. And it takes more oxygen to your brain. And let's face it, who can't use a little bit more oxygen to their brain, right? The ribs in your body that have these little muscles in between them called the intercostal muscles, they're little bitty things. And those are the muscles that help you pant when you need to take a deep breath, like when you're exercising or running. When you laugh, you exercise those little muscles. And if you happen to rock and roll when you laugh, like I do, then you are also massaging your organs. So basically, laughing is a win-win situation for all parts of your body. Plus, of course, it generates your happy hormones. So bringing more laughter into your household is never going to be a problem. So I'm going to talk to you about 5 ways to model getting your happy on. In my book, I discussed 10, but I didn't think there was going to be enough time here. So we'll see what happens. Starting with number 5 is stay in the moment. This is so important as a parent because let's face it, if you're a mom, you're being pulled in 20 different directions anyway. But when your child comes to you, you need to shut it all off. Take your cell phone. This is such a huge symbol for them is you take your cell phone, you put on do not disturb, and you put it down on the table next to them, and then you look at them. And you say, yes, what do you want? This is your time. This is your moment. The bottom line is the reason why it's so important to model this for our kids is because when you are thinking about the future, it creates anxiety and uncertainty. When you are spending your time thinking about the past, it creates guilt and regret. So you want to eliminate all that stuff and stay in the moment and teach your kids to do the same thing. Because wouldn't it be great to limit anxiety and uncertainty and guilt? Really. So if you're doing it, they are more likely to do it because they mirror everything that you do. Plus, staying in the moment keeps you focused. And when you make the choice, anytime you make a choice, that's a moment of empowerment. And your body generates happy hormones in response to that. It's like your dopamine reward system. I'm making a decision. I'm making a decision to be here on this video right now and watch this and learn from this. I'm making that decision. So that little charge you get is a happy hormone being spurted into your bloodstream, and it makes you feel better, and it makes you more likely to pursue that again. Number 4, volunteer and or donate. Donate your time, donate the clutter in your garage, donate money, but do it in front of your kids so they understand the importance of donating. The nicest thing was that my aging mom announced to me one day that somebody was returning her garbage cans to the house because she had this really long driveway.
Yes. Aw.
And it turned out to be the 2 little girls across the street. And I happened to see them doing it with their father standing there to make sure that they didn't get hit by a car, because it was that kind of a street. And I said to him, "This is so nice of you." And he goes, "No, this isn't me. This is them. They saw her trying to move the garbage cans and they asked me." And so I said, "Sure." So obviously he does this stuff. Otherwise they wouldn't know to do it.
Exactly.
And it generates happy hormones, and it feeds into that reward system where you want to do it again. One of the funniest things was the first time we took our daughter trick-or-treating. We opened up the first door and the lady goes, "Oh, you're so cute, blah, 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 blah." And she puts candy into my daughter's bag, which I guess I failed to explain to her that's what was going to happen. So she looked in the bag for a second, and then she took one out and gave it back to her with this big smile. And the lady went, "Oh, that's so sweet." Right? So she got that little feedback. And every time she went to her house, she handed a candy to somebody. And then that's all over her. "Take more." Right? But that's the feedback loop you get from it.
Yeah.
And doing something for someone else is about donating your time, but it can be anything minor. Everything counts. That's what's so cool about this system that your body has. Holding a door for somebody makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Grinning at a stranger across the street, it makes you feel good. Helping somebody with a parcel as they try to get from here to there makes you feel good. And then when they smile back at you, you get this double whammy of happy hormones. And this one you hear about all the time: count your blessings, show gratitude, feel gratitude, acknowledge gratitude. It's like the buzzword right now. And I don't mean to minimize it, but it is only one part of the scene. That's the point. I hear people doing gratitude journals, and that's lovely if you just keep writing in the gratitude journal. But you can supersize that by 1 day a week going back and reading through it. Not just writing in it, but going back and going, "Wow, look at this. Look at all the times I helped somebody. I'm really doing well here." Do that for yourself, or do it with your kids. Flip through and say, "Show me what you've done this week that you're proud of." And they'll show you, and they'll relive it, and it'll generate those happy hormones and make them want to go towards things that make them proud. And then number 1 way to get your happy on is number 1 thing we throw out when we're stressed or overbooked or overwhelmed: taking care of your body. I know this for a fact because of my personal life. I know that when I put too much on my plate, I say, "Well, I'm not going to go to the gym." I don't need to go to the gym. I can go walk. I can do plenty of other things, but somehow
You dance.
the gym is, yes, you can dance. Absolutely.
Get her happy on.
Exactly. And that only takes a minute, right? You can get, or 2.5 minutes, you can get there and generate your happy hormones with music. Absolutely. But dance to the music. Don't just sit there and listen.
Yeah.
And anything that you do, your food, your beverage intake, your emotional state, your movement, all of that is about taking care of your body. So is taking a warm bath. That is taking care of your body, but it is also calming the stress in yourself. And imagine if you're living that life, what you're teaching your kids. You want your kids to grow up to be the stressed out version of you, or do you want them to grow up to be a calm version of you that you want to aim for? because if you make the changes in front of them, they will see the power that we have about changing our lives to be the way we want them to be. So win-win. All right. 5 more ways to get your happy on. You need to go get my book, How to Get Your Happy On.
There you go.
Now, this is the short version of it. Of the 5 I just gave you. Live well, have fun, help other people. Boom, baby.
Boom, boom, boom.
All right. Do it yourself, on demand, happy hormones. You know that boss is going to be cranky, so you need to fortify your body before you go in there, and his stress hormones overwhelm your happy hormones. These things are so easy to do. And while you're listening to me, I really, truly hope you do them while I'm saying it, just so you can.
All right, let's go.
Right, this is my science side, okay? The first thing you do is you take your baseline data. So just sit quietly for a second, put your feet down, and think about what it feels like between your neck and below your belly button. What does that feel like? Just take a moment and sense it. Now, that's where you're starting at. We're going to see what we can do to change that. Here's your first one. Oops, and everything we're doing is modeling self-empowerment. The first one is smiling. When you smile, your face generates, the muscles trigger the nerves that go to the brain that generate your happy hormones. And you don't want to be grinning at your angry boss. But it turns out that, oops, if you fake smile, your body can't tell the difference between a real smile and a fake smile.
Right. Like even that's the whole pencil in your mouth.
See what she's doing?
Yeah.
Yes, because the grimace, that whole motion triggers it. Your body can't tell the difference. So you bite down a pencil when your boss isn't annoying you or whatever. But here's the thing about the fake smiles. Before you go into the place, if you fake smile like 5 times, you'll give yourself a boost of happy hormones. And the magic of all this is that if you visualize doing it, you will still create the happy hormones. So you don't have to sit there going, just think about it before you get in there, and you will feel your gut change. So just take a moment right now and do 5 fake smiles, just like I did, and pay attention to what happens in your gut.
I try not to crack up.
Right. See, that's what happens. The minute you feel like you want to laugh, or you say, okay, this is silly, or any of that stuff, that's the happy hormones. That's not your intellectual decision. That's your happy hormones. Okay, that's why we took baseline data. All right, rising your eyes. So you sit upright, you keep your face in this position, you don't tilt your head, and you look up. I feel that one right in here. Just a little, okay? So when you're doing gratitude stuff, look up and get an extra burst of happy hormones. Now, you've heard of a sigh of relief. The sigh of release is almost the same thing. You inhale and then you exhale sharply. And when you exhale sharply, feel relief drain out of your body. So everybody inhale and exhale sharply. And cough. So you inhale and exhale sharply, and you condense down your diaphragm and your ribs, and you force all that air out. And there is a feeling of relief from releasing all that. And then jostling yourself, like shimmying or shaking or wiggling.
I have to have a chair that
or swiveling. That's right.
A chair that swivels. Exactly.
Anything that moves you creates happy hormones. So
or
putting on a song and doing like this also creates happy hormones. Driving in the car and listening to music and doing like this creates happy hormones. It also massages your organs in addition to everything else. So jostling, wiggling, shimmying, shaking, all of that stuff works. I'm going back one. What do you think you get when you put them all together? I'm going to demonstrate here in case you don't recognize it. You ready? It's a hissy fit.
Is he fit?
It's a hissy fit. So recognize that when your kids are going, they are instinctively tapping into all of these things that create happy hormones. Yes, it may be a sign of disrespect, but where it came from was an instinctual pressure release valve.
Hmm.
So when you see them doing this, instead of getting offended, because after all, you're the grown-up, which I'm saying that tongue in cheek because I react to it. You can't help but react to it. Why? Because you know what that means in your body when you do all that. So you are reacting to something your body knows. When you see them doing that, it's a flag that's saying, I can't cope. I need help. I don't know how to solve the situation. So
Yes. And when I see that,
a hissy fit.
I always see it as a great time to go like, yes, I know I am a horrible mother and you can't stand me. And you have a great big hug, which is usually met with, ugh.
But you have de-escalated it.
Yeah.
Okay, one of my favorites, thump your thymus. Your thymus is a little gland right here under your breastbone. And when you're younger, it's bigger. And when you're older, it shrinks up a little bit. So you kind of have to stimulate it. And you want to do that because that creates your T cells, your white blood cells, your immune system fighting cells that kill all the viruses and bacteria. So like that, thump your thymus. And think about how we do that instinctively. Like we go, ah, right? Or gladiators, the big apes, or Tarzan.
I get all the necklaces out of the way.
All the thumping of your thymus is good for you. I go dun 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 dun. You know, I mean, just whatever. Just do it before you're going into that meeting with a person that annoys you, or do it with you're getting ready to have a conversation with a scowling teenager. You know, I mean.
Yeah, there we go.
And you're good to go. All right, hugs. One of my favorite on-demand happy hormone producers. If you hold an embrace for 20 seconds or longer, oxytocin gets generated in your body. A gentle hug also puts pressure on your thymus, which creates your boosts your immune system. What did you say?
Thymus. And and I'm like, the only thing I'm thinking of here is like, it's actually a long, 20 seconds is a long time.
It is. It is a long time.
Yeah.
But
I'm starting right now. It's just for us to see, right? That, I mean, I think we probably do kind of do quick little hugs, little sideway hugs.
Yes.
But to really
we definitely do that.
Settle down. Yeah, that was 20. That was 20 seconds. Stop.
But when you're in that hug, it feels good.
It does.
Those hugs are for relatives,
and
not strangers.
And 20 seconds is enough time to have the teen get over the like, don't invade my personal space.
Now, some people don't want hugs. They're not physically built for hugs. Right? You can hug them from behind. You can lean into them from the side and to have that physical contact, and it will trigger the connection. Oxytocin is your connecting hormone. It will trigger that connection. But the fastest and quickest way is a hug, but you have to have a hugger. And if you don't have a hugger, you can teach them. You give them a 2-second hug, and then you give them a 3-second hug, and then you give them a 4-second hug. Just work your way up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my daughter has told me many times, I'm not a hugger, Mom. I don't want to be hugged. What she does like to do is cuddle. So when she got too big for me, because she got bigger than me, like in middle school, I would sit like this far away from the end of the couch, and she'd put her butt against the couch with her back against the armrest. And she would drape her legs over me
Yeah.
Our bodies would be together, and she was
Yeah.
essentially sitting in my lap, but I just couldn't bear the weight on my legs, so she was right next to me.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it. So we didn't have to have a hugging thing, but she needed the connection, and she knew that. She wanted it, and I wanted it. I get big hugs from her now when I go visit her because she lives on the other side of the country. She'll hug me, and we'll just stand there and rock, and it's just lovely. It's like getting our bodies back in sync again
Yeah.
after being
Yeah.
away for months, you know.
Yeah. And
Oops.
I would say in some ways my daughter isn't the biggest hugger either, but she knows how much I need it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's she just stands in the stance of, okay, I will
This is
give
for
this
you,
to
mom,
you.
not for me. But don't think for
Yeah.
1 second she's not getting her hormones going, because
Yeah.
A, she's doing something for somebody else, and
Right.
B, she is getting her thymus gently thumped, and C, she is getting her oxytocin released. So
Yeah.
it's a win-win for everybody. All right, deep breathing. I'm concerned about time, so what my plan was to do a couple of deep breaths with you. But so this is what I'm going to say. I'll do one with you, and I'm going to tell you where to use it, and you can keep breathing while I'm talking, or you
Good.
can
Sounds
actually
good.
keep breathing as I go through the rest of this list. You have my permission to breathe. Okay, deep breathing. You breathe in on a count of 4, you hold it for a count of 4, and then you breathe out for a count of 4. And when you breathe in positive energy and light and relaxation. And when you breathe out tension and stress and worry and regret. And you keep that cycle going of bringing in the positive and easing out the negative. So let's do one together. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Now you keep doing that while I talk to you about the benefits of deep breathing. Again, you are massaging your organs. You're increasing their blood flow and moving the oxygen to your brain. You are exercising your intercostal muscles, which help you do deep breathing later. And if you're not a person who exercises regularly and you don't do deep breathing regularly, you'll find this tiring after a few breaths. So that's okay, expect it. So you keep deep breathing while I'm doing number 8, which is guided meditation. There are so many ways you can do guided meditation, but basically it's somebody leading you through meditation. I used to think that I couldn't meditate because I was trying to do some stereotypic meditation that you got in books and on videos and stuff. And what it was I didn't find what worked for me. Basically, you have to just find what works for you. With guided meditation, like some people listen to something about sitting next to a brook and relaxing and that kind of thing. My guided meditation is completely different. When I need my hormone fix, my guided meditation is that I sit back and I close my eyes and I picture my husband on a cold day, and he's wearing a big coat, and he opens up the jacket, and I slide my arms inside and I wrap around him, and he wraps the coat around my back, and we just stand there rocking a little bit and breathing, and I can hear his heartbeat.
Jostling and thumping your thymus and hugging.
And visualizing it, and I'm not actually doing it, but that's where I go. That brings me a real rush of relaxation and peace and joy. And you're never going to find that example in any kind of book on meditating. And my thoughts aren't going anyplace. All I'm doing is easing the clutter in my head, I guess. And when I'm done doing that, whatever I've been noodling all of a sudden becomes clear, and I know which direction I want to go in, or I'm calm enough to start considering things. So you just find your way to do it. I bet you anything there is something that you do in your life that you wouldn't name meditation because it doesn't look like other people's meditation, but you are doing something. I mean, you have to be, unless you get a book or something in there with you, you have to be meditating if you take a bath or a shower, right? When you're in the shower, that's a meditative state. was you pay attention to each part of your body that you're washing. That's a meditative state.
Well, that's the trick though, right? So not being in the shower running your monkey mind.
Yes, but the mucky muck is only taking over if you're, instead of doing like this, you're like this and you're thinking about it. You are still taking away from it as you're taking care of your body. Like sometimes I'm in the shower and I'm like, wait, did I shave my legs yet? I have to reach down to see, because I do have that stuff going on in my head. But then I pull myself out of my head and go back to taking care of my body. So, all right, live an inconvenient life. You don't have time to go to the gym or create an exercise program for yourself. So live an inconvenient life where everything you do makes you have to do something a little bit extra. For example, on my desk, I have the stapler over there. I literally have to stand up and lean over and reach to get my stapler. And if I want a pen, it's over there. I have to stand up and reach for it. So our kitchens and our bedrooms and everything is designed for everything to be quick and easy access. In my kitchen, I took my silverware and I moved it on the bottom drawer. So every time I have to get silverware, I have to bend down to get it. And my husband, who's like a foot taller than me, he has to bend even further. But I don't do that bending during the day. So now I'm bending. Like when I'm folding laundry, I hold it over my head when I'm folding it. So that makes me do a little extra movement and something where I don't have to take time to do it. You know, the old thing about parking away from the grocery store. So you have to walk up to the parking lot, you know, if it's daylight. And just not having everything in arm's reach. I moved all my commonly used things like drinking glasses and plates, move them up top. So I have to get on my toes to get them off the shelf. I moved the foods that I usually use from the bottom shelf to the top shelf. And now I have to drag out the stupid stool so I can reach it. But all that is more movement in my day. And how long does that take? What, 10 seconds, 15 seconds? But I'm stretching and I'm reaching and I'm pulling and I'm squatting and I'm lifting and I'm bending.
Yeah.
So live an inconvenient life. And boost your immune system. You can do that through your foods. You can do that through thumping your thymus. You can do that by eliminating things that are negative in your immune system. And part of that you could take care of with mastering your mouth, which we're going to discuss in depth in just a second. But the reason why boosting your immune system is a on-demand happy hormone maker is because every time you make a decision, I'm going to do the deep breathing, I'm going to thump my thymus. Every time you do that, you get accompanying happy hormones that have to do with feeling empowered and making a choice and having the power of that choice. So mastering your mouth is one of the big ones, because what we put into our bodies, oh, I just realized I didn't put the website on here. What we put into our bodies matters. And I highly recommend that if you can, you should only eat organic. But let's face it, it's very expensive. And if you've got a lot of kids or a large family, it's can be prohibitive.
Yeah.
So here are two lists that you can use. And this comes from the Environmental Working Group, and their website is ewg.org. I strongly recommend them. They have all these databases for different things that they track, like sunscreens or makeup or things for babies and lotions and just everything having to, and water. You can put in the name of the town you live in, and they'll tell you the quality of the public drinking water there. So yeah,
Okay, one more time.
EWG, Environmental Working Group, EWG.org. So here are two lists that they print out every year. So this was, I believe this is 2021's list. And so some of these things shift. The Dirty Dozen are the ones that, even if you wash them, these things are not going to be free of the pesticides and the herbicides and the chemicals that go along with them. So do not buy these. When you're trying to make a decision about what to buy and what not to buy, don't buy these unless they are organic. The Dirty Dozen are the ones you don't buy unless they're organic. The Clean 15 are the ones that you can buy even if they're not organic, because either they have something you peel off of them so the stuff doesn't go directly into your mouth, or it's because the way they are treated is more environmentally friendly naturally, even though it's the conventional methods.
Yeah.
And I mean, or it could be that it washes off. It disappears when you run it under your faucet. The ones under the Dirty Dozen list, they don't disappear, and you end up with those chemicals in your body.
Well, and they're
Makes
not
your liver
disappearing
work
because they're not on
overtime.
the surface, right? Because
Say
they're
again?
absorbed in through the skin.
Yes, the ones on the Dirty Dozen, they can be absorbed through your skin. So if you do bring those into your house, do not let your children touch them. Not until they've been washed and washed and washed 3 times with soap. Okay. So the Clean 15 and organic grocery shopping. My recommendation is that you take 10% of your grocery shopping budget and you devote it towards the buying organics, which would be your Dirty Dozen. And then you make sure that you stick with the Clean 15 for the rest of the stuff that you can't buy organic. So that way you're protected either way. Oops. Okay, get my thing back online here. There we go. So we've done 1 through 11. Number 12 is about tracking your progress. Currently, I'm on this thing because the days are getting shorter. I mean, yeah, the days are getting shorter. And so it's dark earlier. And I know from me, my history, that when it starts doing that, I stop exercising and moving and all that business because I get up later. And so there's less time during my day. So thank goodness I live an inconvenient life, but this year my goal is to not do that switch. And my daughter lives in California, and we have a thing now where I'm just supposed to get up and do some movement in the morning. It doesn't matter how much or quantity or quality of it. It's just the thing about getting up and moving. And each morning I send her a photograph of this little sticky note I have on my bathroom mirror that says, "Move it, Deborah." And she knows that I got up and I did some movement, and I'm tracking it. I just put little hash marks on it so I know how many days in a row I've been doing it. So it's a reward system for myself, using your dopamine reward system. And I have an accountability partner with my daughter. So I have that happy hormone generating through connection. And I'm moving. So I get my happy hormones from that too. So what I'm doing, so you understand, is that eventually I will do this automatically because it'll be dark. It'll be completely dark in the morning and I'll still be doing it automatically. That is when you're tracking your progress and you see it's happening over and over and over again, and that you're creating a habit which literally translates into a lifestyle change. That's what habits are. Things that you do automatically without thinking. Quick fixes are things like diets, and they don't last because they're a quick fix, and then it's over. It's not part of your lifestyle. So when you make a decision to change a habit that is going to become part of your lifestyle, you're feeling empowered and it creates your happy hormones. This is an example of a tracker. If you send me an email and ask me for it, I can just send it to you. But you see all those little notches there are really dates, and you color in the day that you did what you said you were going to do. And this can be anything from saying something nice to somebody, or getting to work on time, or shopping organically, or exercising, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever it is you choose to do, you color in the spot that you did it. So if you do it in a consecutively without any breaks, you'll have this nice solid coloring. But if you take a break and you miss a day, it happens. Expect it. It's normal. What you'll see is that places where it's colored in a lot, places where it's polka dotted, and But in general, you'll see it start filling in more and more and more as time goes by. And eventually you'll be doing it so automatically that you won't need the progress tracker anymore because you will own that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of different progress trackers. You can find them online all over the place, but you just find one that you like the way it looks or the way it works.
Yeah. I like this one. I mean, it's fun. The idea that I get to color as well.
Exactly. And this is a great modeler for your family. Now, if you got little kids, like elementary school kids, I would take something like this and cut it up and just put the word on whatever month it is, put that up on the refrigerator and let them color in the days as it goes by.
Yeah.
And I guess I made it in enough time here. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the information I gave you. I was rushing through it, so my apologies. But again, if you would like to get a copy of the book, just send me an email. It's at the bottom of the screen. And I'll sign you up for my monthly newsletter so you can keep track about when the next book is coming out, when my next workshop is. I'm planning on having a series of workshops just for mothers in 2023. And of course, my Get Your Happy On ones will be out there for 2 times next year. So
Fabulous.
keep you abreast of that.
Such spot on, concrete, doable things for us here today. And when we can show up with our happy hormones activated, not only does that calm our brain down enough to give us access to all those great parenting tips and strategies we know, even if we don't know exactly what to do in that situation, we're going to be making better choices.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's a certain amount of healthiness in your kids seeing you as a work in progress, that you don't stop learning, you don't stop trying, you don't stop embellishing your life, that they understand that they are works in progress. You don't get to a point where you say, I'm done.
I've got no more thymus thumping for me. I think this is going to be my new favorite one. All right. Well, Deborah Ann Davis, thank you so much for coming and being a part of this. And I know you'll come back sometime.
Thank you very much for having me. And I hope everybody enjoyed it. So be happy.